All right, so let's take a little look inside. It's nice and cool in here. And there's this trap door that goes to the upstairs because it is a 2-story building, 2-story tiny house. And up here, this wall over here is only about 3 feet high. And then it slopes up to 7 feet at this end. Nice cozy little space. And in the wintertime, all the heat rises up to here, and there's this sort of elbow of the wood stove that comes up through the floor as well to heat up this floor. So Wisteria is framed with 2x6 dimensional lumber, and when it was originally built, this front wall was actually about 4 feet in here, and this was the second floor was cantilevered out over the first floor, and so this area right here was actually a porch, outdoor porch, and there were just posts sort of holding up the cantilever from the second floor sticking out. And when I got this property and moved it over here, I wanted to have more space in here, and there was also, like, this door here was the only access to the second floor, so you would have to go outside the house to get up to the second floor. And then the first floor is also only 8 by 12 feet or 8 by 11 or so. And so it just wasn't a very big space. And so when I got it and moved it over here, my dad came and helped me work on the house, and we moved this wall out. And then we filled in the wall over here and just made it one big continuous space. So now it's actually in here, it's 11 by 11, which is a bigger space. It's still a tiny house. This ceiling here is only about 7 feet high. So it's not the biggest space, but it's really nice if you're a short person, because then it, makes you feel bigger. And this door here is like a short door, so it's not a normal size door. So we once had somebody living in here that was like 6.5 feet tall, so it was a little difficult for him. He had to duck in to get into this door. The house originally had its own power system. It was off-gridded and had about 4 batteries that were kept upstairs, and then it had a few solar panels up on the roof. And that has since been removed, and it's been connected to our microgrid, and now it gets power from elsewhere. It doesn't feed into the grid at all. It's sort of independent, and it's just connected to our microgrid. These walls are insulated with light clay straw, which is a mixture of straw, clay slip, and you basically just mix it up like a salad and salad dressing, and then you put forms on the framing of the house, and then you pack the straw into those forms. And when you take the forms off, then the straw holds its shape, and it gives you a nice smooth surface to be able to earth and plaster on. And so that's what we did. It was my first time doing earth and plaster, I think, so it's not the best job, but it seems to have held up. The house was originally on these Osage posts over at Red Earth Farms, and I just had them moved over with the house. We dug some post holes, and then they dropped the posts back into those and put the house back on them. Over here, the problem was that over time the posts started sinking into the ground, and so the house started sinking as well. And so last year I had to redo basically the foundation and the floor of the house. We had to jack up the house, rip everything out of the floor, and completely replace the floor, and put these oak beams around underneath the walls to rebuild and create a new, steadier base and foundation for the house. Also put in a bunch of this drainage, this gravel drainage. underneath the house. Part of the problem with the sinking into the ground was the drainage over here kind of changed, and so we ended up with basically a lot of water just pooling around underneath the house that hadn't been there before. And so to deal with that drainage problem, dug out under the house, brought in this gravel and set up some tile, drainage tile under the house, so that hopefully it won't have that problem anytime in the future. This is a apple tree that I planted not long after I moved the house over here, and it's gotten pretty big. Of course, it's getting kind of shaded out by this silver maple over here. I'm gonna have to trim this stuff back. And on the other side of the house, there's a sour cherry tree. Every year that produces quite a bit of cherries. All right, well, thanks for coming on this little tour of Wisteria Lodge, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet, and give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and I'll see you next time.